All right, Coach, a tough one tonight. Back and forth, you outshot them, but just came up short. I guess your thoughts on tonight's game?
I thought there was moments where, we had full control of the game, and they get a bounce or two, but you got to give them the credit when the credit's there. I don't know the full stats, but I don't know how many shots they must have blocked, and they've done a good job of clogging us up and frustrating us a little bit, and give them credit tonight that they came in and played a perfect road game, and going into it, they'd have to play a perfect game to kind of get the win, and the credits to them for that.
Is it safe to say they've made adjustments, kind of tightening things up, not allowing you guys to have those breakouts and all that?
I think we moved the puck still pretty well. We were coming through clean. I think it's just the desperation. They had a little bit more than we did tonight. They were hard around the front of the net. We couldn't find second opportunities. When we did, their goalie made a couple good saves, and I think it was just the desperation that made the difference, right? 13 shots to whatever it was, 30 plus. Like normally you get 30 plus, you're expecting to get more than one goal, but they might have had 15 plus blocks. So we've got to change our angle, shoot the puck a little bit quicker, or just move it a little bit quicker and get those openings. So yeah, they worked hard.
I thought you guys in the third period came out and tried to get more shots just kind of through to the net, kind of in that area, and kind of did a better job. You had some good looks, a couple near misses. I thought there was 3 or 4 of them in that third period. Yeah,
I think exactly that. We pushed the pace a little bit more and had them on their heels for like I said, most of that game. And some pucks went by, some pucks you didn't see went by, and playoffs change in a heartbeat, right? With a break here or a break there, you get some luck, you get some puck bounces, and maybe we got game 2, we got our bounces, and they got their bounces now. So we've got to regroup, which I know our guys are going to do. We're a confident group in there. We know what we have. We know our group's tight, and we're confident in what we're going to do. And we've got to go into Guelph, and we've won games on the road before. We've won in there before, and we'll go in and play our game. Our special teams, our PK's been great. We'll make a few adjustments on the power play where we need to, and that's that.
And playoffs, always a mental, emotional roller coaster ride. Never easy to close out a series. Going into Game 6 here, what's the message to is it still the same? Just kind of keep doing what you're doing. Just kind of bear down a little bit.
I think it's just I think it's the belief. It's if you look at our roster and you look at the guys we've had, I think 10 playoff games is the majority of what we've had. So we have no playoff experience. So we're getting it now, and this is only going to help us and harden us when we keep moving forward, because if we get through this series, or when we get through this series, it's going to get harder. Like, teams get more desperate, and we're playing a desperate team right now that knows they've got a little momentum, but we've been able to grab it before in the past going into a building, and our top players are gonna step up when we need them, because that's what it comes down to. When your best players are the best players on the ice, you're usually the team that comes out on top. And we talked tonight, I thought our compete was better at times. I think we can compete a little bit harder, and we talked about you have to put the compete in front of your skill, because if you put the skill first, you're usually disappointed when you leave the rink. So I think we need to get our compete up a little bit higher, win some of those 50-50 pucks, track a little bit harder, and consistently do it for 60 minutes.
You talked about those 50-50 battles on the tying goal. Poitras won a 50-50 battle along the half wall, then the go-ahead goal. McFarland won the 50-50 battle in the corner. Is that kind of a key moving forward, is to win more of those battles along the boards?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is, right? You talk about playoff hockey, and you talk about the tiny little things get magnified so much better, and tonight's perfect proof, right? We have a D-man going back for the puck, and he tries to move it up the wall and misses it, and that little mistake ends up potentially in the back of our net. But we have 4 other guys on the ice that know where they should be to to recover and protect and insulate that guy. And we were a tad slow getting there. So those things are magnified in the playoffs, where regular season maybe you get away with that, or you have the firepower to come back. When things tighten up like they are now, then that one goal makes the difference. Now you're gripping your stick a bit more, and now you're pressing a little bit more, right? Frustration comes in a little bit, and for the most part we did a pretty good job of managing our emotions on the bench and managing our frustration. And just talking to that group in there, they know what they have to do. They're confident in what they're going to do, and I'm confident in that group. I've never coached a group that's been tighter than this group, and I know they'll come through in the clutch.
And as far as you mentioned a little bit in your earlier answer about the time and space, they seem to really collapse defensively and really not giving you a lot of time and space. How do you adjust to allow for those skilled players to have a little more room, and then obviously more success?
Yeah, I think it was just we would double clutch a puck and try and get into a closer area to shoot. I think when we'd sling some pucks from outside the perimeter, and if they got through, the goalie wasn't seeing them, and we were looking for those rebounds. I think at times we got comfortable. We'd go low to high, and the D would want to walk, and he'd take that extra step to get closer, and now it's closed off. Or we've got to play a little bit more give and go, and we've got to not accept little box outs and not accept the coverage. We've got to be a little bit quicker and roll and move the puck quicker. When we're snapping it around and we're executing it, guys are jumping to holes. The pass is there ahead of time. They're shooting it off the pass. That's what we got to get back to. We're second guessing ourselves. We're double clutching a little bit, and it's just going to come down to trusting your instincts going forward here.
You mentioned desperation a couple of times. I mean, is there a way to, I don't want to say fake it, but kind of get your team into that kind of mode when when your backs aren't against the wall yet, when you're up 3-0 or 3-1 in the series, as opposed to facing elimination?
Yeah, I mean, that desperation is usually, it's an individual thing. I think it's based off how sharp you are in the game, how engaged you are in the game, how bad you want to make that block, right? It's easy to come out in the lane and make it look like you're going to block the shot, but it's hard to do it repeatedly over and over again. And I think, give them, like I said, give them credit. They blocked a ton of shots, and maybe there's a couple more we hoped we could have blocked, but I think for the most part we had the majority of puck possession, so you don't really need to block a whole lot of shots when you have the possession, but we have to get off the perimeter a little bit more. And like I said, when the shot is there, we have to take it right away and not second guess that this isn't my shot. I can move it somewhere else, and that's what we tend to do. And we've done it for probably the last 2 months of the season. When we overhandle pucks, we get a little fancy, we get a little cute.
And you talked earlier in the season about kind of developing that killer instinct, and not to read too much into just 2 games. But in that sense, are you seeing what you want from the guys in this series?
Yeah, I mean, it's no one. I don't know if we walked into the series thinking we were going to win it 4 straight, or we knew it was going to be a battle. We knew we were going to compete, and like I said, we got some puck bounces early, and they've got a couple now in the last game. So it's evened out. Now we've got to, they've got to come through us twice, and we've got to go into Guelph and win a hockey game. And we've done that before, and we've done that throughout the whole season. When our back's against the wall, when this team is kind of faced that adversity, they've risen most of the year here. And like I said, I don't expect anything different from our group. We've got we've got a good leadership group. We've got core guys that know what's got to be done and what it's going to take to go into probably a loud building, a hard building to win in, but we'll be fine.